I just recently posted a video on YouTube, short, and had to do with me talking about one of my athletes talking about the fresh dance from Fortnite, even though it's from the Fresh Prince of Bel Air and it's called the Carlton. For the last, I would say, 6 years or so, me working with kids, being the older one around them, they really make you feel like being 24 is like the age of 40. Like, it's so hilarious that generational gap, even though it's only like 5, 6, 7 years difference, they will make sure to let you know, hey, you are older than me, so you have to be walking around with the cane and your back's hurting, right? Right. But it's like so weird because, again, I'm still Gen Z. 1999, I'm still Gen Z and a part of majority of kids who are in high school that I coach and I work with. Like, I'm not that much older than you. Again, 6, 7 years old, maybe. Like, it's not like I'm 10 plus. We're relatively close to the same age. And we laugh at the same jokes, look at the same things, and I know the same slang. So, like, why am I considered unk status now? It's stupid, man. It's stupid. But it's so funny because when you look at the comments of my video, you can see like two different generations are arguing the comments. You got the millennials who are just like, yeah, like, what are you guys doing? This is why video games are ruining kids, and it's stupid, and you don't know references, and it's disrespectful. And then you got the younger generation like, yeah, it's what we learn because it's what we see, and we don't want to watch that old crap, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And both sides, I'm looking left and right. I'm just like, I feel like I'm the middle child. I'm in the middle of this. Like, the older generation is like 100% right, but you're old and you sound corny saying it. But the younger generation is also kind of correct because the way that they're talking about, like, this is just how we know through what we watch and what we've been brought up with. But they sound like children and 4-year-olds saying it. It's gross. So I'm dead straight in the middle where I get both sides. I can understand and see both things, which is why it's just like so weird to really put myself in seeing what's really going on. It's just super weird. Yes, again, I'm the youngest of my family, but in terms of generation and just looking between my older siblings, who I see are like the, millennial age, and then I see my athletes who I consider my younger like brothers in a way, because I'm only 24 and some of them are like 16, 17. They're like my little brothers, and I'm just watching them going like, wow, like I get both sides, and it's just weird. For example, the reason why I may feel like I'm young and part of the younger generation, I love my sisters. I love all my family who is older than me. But man, when they send those, memes and videos from like Facebook and like Instagram and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, this is a little corny. It's got that like fake laugh track in the back, the weird like, zoom in that like some of the millennials do. It's the millennial core that you're just like, yo, like this is some corny stuff. Like, this is meant for Facebook people. Facebook people is literally like you're like 30 and up, or it's just, that's like the memes, and you know what I'm talking about when you watch it. You're like, yeah, this is not meant for younger generation. It's not at all. Again, me being only 5 years separated from my youngest sister that's older than me, it's like still I can tell there is that millennial gap that you're like, yeah, like if I showed her some of the stuff I'm watching on my For You page on TikTok, she wouldn't even in the slightest understand what's going on. And that is also wondering why I'm so young and feel young, you know what I mean? But I have a lot of blessings towards my older siblings because I feel like growing up, having them made me feel like I can grow up and be more mature. Like, I was hanging out with kids again who were older than me in high school and middle school and stuff like that. Like, I grew up with older people in my life, so that's all I catered towards. So I grew up a little bit faster than the majority of people in my grade, and it was one of those things that I really thought, was really cool. So I can't disregard that stuff in a sense. So again, knowing the Fresh Prince of Bel Air and knowing all the older music and stuff like that through my parents and generations above me, like, that's also the great thing about it, is that like I was okay with learning that older stuff because that's just part of not only my culture, but just like who I grew up with and what I watched. So it was pretty cool in that sense as well. But now the stuff that makes me feel like an old fart that a lot of these young kids talking about, like me being 40 when I'm literally 24, is that when I'm like correcting them and just telling them different things, and I'm like, man, you just don't know yet. You just don't know. Again, I'm coaching, I'm working with kids and stuff like that, and I just know like working with them is just like they love acting like they know everything. They just love it. And I'm like, you're 16. You only know 16 years of your life, and about half of that you were fully conscious for. What do you know? Again, same too. I'm 24. I'm still learning a bunch of crap too. But eventually, at some point, And when I turned 18, and my frontal lobe's still forming, like, but when I turned 18, I was like, I don't know jack about the world. I barely know anything. So if I can look back at my 17, 16-year-old self, I tell myself to shut up because I'm like, you don't know jack yet. And I don't tell these kids to shut up, but sometimes I'm like, shh, shh. You don't know nothing yet. So stop acting like you know more than I do. And I'm still working and learning stuff. Don't do that. It's a whole new generation out there, and the online generation. I grew up on the online generation too, but this is like a chronically online generation that it's all about being through your phone, and the communication skills are not the best. And it's just like, ooh, like they just don't know a whole lot of crap. But they will always look you in your face and be bold and do the craziest things, but will refuse to take action and consequence from it. It's hilarious. And that's what makes me feel old calling it that generation. Even though they're part of my generation, just like the back end of it, just looking at them going, yo, you guys need to figure it out because it's getting embarrassing at this point. But at the end of the day, it's not that deep. It kind of is because it's freaking me out by being in the middle part of like the older generation of moving and like cutting off. Like, yes, you guys are getting old and you guys are floating away. But then also the new generation of they're still part of my generation and they're right here and I'm probably gonna be stuck with them as I float through. Scary stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just like if you're in like the 1998 to like 2001, 2 era, just know like we are the GOATs. We are amazing and we are cool. Like we are that age of like we had it perfect where we still had great things of being old, like box TVs and watching old cassette tapes and all that stuff, like just towards the end of where we were watching growing up. But we also still had the internet and looking at TV through YouTube and iPhones and those games, stuff like that. I think we had the best growing up era of anything. I don't care what anyone says. That 98 to 2002 group just knew exactly what we were doing. And I'm sorry if you're just really out of it. You can consider yourself in it with us, before and after. But that group right there is just perfect. We had a perfect setup, and I think we're doing great right now. But it is your leader, Scott Maps here. Hope you enjoyed this another rant. If you did, like, subscribe, share with your pony, share it with your friends, and, I'm not old, okay? I'm 24. I'll be 25 in December, but that's also a December problem. But I'm 24, okay? I'm not 40. But you older generation, I'm not 12. God, figure it out, man. Just figure it out. Weirdos.